download the document, but you know what I mean.
Okay. All right. So we are recording right this very minute. All right. So Francine, I'm so happy for you. So happy for what is happening. And Becky shared with me the other day that you took advantage of that additional income that was there for you in sponsoring qualified distributors.
Yes.
And I guess what Phyllis and I and my team would love to know is, what is your languaging when you are talking to people about becoming qualified distributors? Some of them may or may not be actually wanting to build a business, right?
Right.
But how do you attract them? So talk to me about that.
Okay. Well, ask me questions too. So in case I don't cover something you want, but I think something I learned this last year, Elena, was that I make sure I talk to everybody about the business. That's always something, that we cover. And I've been really consistent about doing new member benefit appointments, or member benefit appointments, because before I was consistent, I had members that I didn't necessarily do those with. But part of that is the benefit of a Shaklee business and how that may or may not impact their lives. Along the way too, and I wish I could tell you whose class this was so I could give them credit, but I don't recall. But it was, when you talk to people, people have needs, and it's not one size fits all. So while I may appreciate the Shaklee business for flexibility, somebody else may just be looking for relationships, or a good thing to spend on, or somebody may have a very concrete need for a certain sum of money. So while I'm talking to people, just really getting into more authentic, deeper relationships with them, so I know what things are important to them in their lives. And so when we do talk about the business, and that very first new member appointment, I may not know all that stuff, so I may be talking in more general terms. But as time goes on, I know that, Elena really loves to travel, and I know she, is working a second job so she can pay for that trip every year. So, we're going on this cruise. It's all expenses paid. Maybe I should share that with her. And so I'll share those things so they can kind of I help them create that picture in their mind that, this could happen to you too. This isn't something that's happening to me because I'm any more special than you. This could be your life as well. So that's really important, that down so they can visualize themselves. So I would bet you, if you asked people on my team why they joined, everybody would have a different reason, because I've highlighted different things with them, because certain things are more important to certain people and vice versa. So anyway, and I never rush people when I talk to them about the business. And to be real honest, sometimes I'm pretty flighty about this, because there will be times that somebody will just pop into my mind and I'm like, oh, Rhonda, I would really love to work with Rhonda. Rhonda's got great energy, and she's built her own business, and she's a single mom, and she's doing all this. And so that's what I will call Rhonda up. And this is actually, Rhonda is on my team now, but I called her up and I just said, Rhonda, I know that you've got a really busy life, but I just can't stop thinking about you. I just keep imagining you on my team, and I just think about how much I admire the fact that you started your own business already, and that you're a single mom, and that you're going all over the country to speak, and people see you as an authority figure, and you're so much fun, and I would just love to. Could I tell you a little bit more about Shaklee? And I don't want you to say yes or no. I just want you to hear a little bit more about it. So maybe sometime down the road, you can make a decision. Is that okay? Because, I find that sometimes people make decisions before they have all the information. And I would feel terrible if you ever thought about it, you couldn't do it because you didn't have all the information. So it's that kind of language, not tell me yes or no, just can I tell you more? And I've somebody tell me no. People, even if they say no later on, when it comes down to whether or not they want to join the business, everybody has said, sure, why not? And they're open to getting more information. So that's been important. I've had a lot of people tell me, that sounds really good, but not right now. And I said, okay, great. I think timing is important and there's a place and a time for. I put them on a list to make sure that I don't forget about them. And I keep them in the loop. I make sure I reach out to them. As a matter of fact, last year, I started this letter campaign, I guess. And just twice a year, in July, or in June rather, and then again in December, I just did this month, I summarize things going on with our team. And if you don't have a team yet, summarize what's going on in the world. It doesn't have to be you personally or your downline personally. Tell them about the exciting new products that are out. Tell them about this amazing new website, that state of the art that we're getting access to. Tell them about these cruises and these high achiever trips and the conference that you went to in Las Vegas and, the fun you tell them all that stuff and send that letter off. And I got that idea, and I'm sorry, let me finish my thought. I send that letter off to people who are kind of the not yet people, or people who may already be on my team, but they're not building their businesses. They're a distributor by title, I guess, but they haven't really built. So there's 20 or so people that get that letter. And I always close it by saying something to the effect of, there's lots of great stuff going on. It would be even greater if you were a part of it or more of a part of it. And I got that idea one time when I heard Laura Evans speak about how she came to Shaklee and how Roger recruited her. And it was months and months and months. And, he called her every month and said, hey, this and this and this is going on. And it'd be even better if you were a part of it. And she's like, well, that sounds really good, but I'm not interested. He's like, oh, no problem. Can I call you back next month? And she said, yeah, sure. And he did. And every time he'd be like, it'd be even better if you were a part of it. So anyway, I started doing that. And it really did get people excited again. And they wanted to know more about what was going on. So anyway, that's been really fun. Advantage, like you said, about different specials that come up. So the end of last month, when we had those last 2 days and Shaklee doubled our bonuses, I knew I had one circle already under qualified distributor. So I knew if I got 2 more circles, $100, because they were doubling those. So rather than 50 times 2, I would get 100 times 2. Plus, if I got all 3 circles filled in, I would get $300 from Shaklee instead of $150. So I had 3 girls who were saying not yet, that they were interacting more, events that we were doing, they were interacting more on our customer page, asking questions. We have a listening program now. They all went through that. They started to refer people. I could tell they were getting more engaged. So I reached out to those 3 and just said, hey, I told them that I respected what they said. I understand this isn't the time for you to grow your business yet. I've heard you say that. But I wanted you to know about this special that's going on right now. And if you became a distributor now, I could give you back $100 off the price of your kit. Plus, Shaklee's just thrown out that they're giving away these free products early that are coming out, for 12 days of Christmas. So you could also get free shipping. And you'll get money back this year this month from Shaklee, because your kit puts you over 250 points, plus you referred several people this month. So you already have people on your team that will go towards this as well. So you're going to get a check back from Shaklee if you decide to become a distributor this month. And I just wanted to let you know that, just so you know all the facts. Of course, the decision is yours. And 2 or 3 women took advantage of that. And so now they're on our team, referring. One is a little more, I think one will build her business quicker than she would have before. Both of them, though, see it as a retirement plan. But I still felt good about that because I still respected their wishes, but I was able to give them $100 each, a check for $100. And it helped me meet one of my goals of having more circles filled in. And I still earned $300 from Shaklee versus $500. I could have gotten $500, but I gave $200 away, but I still got a check for $300. And I thought that was pretty outstanding. So anyway, so those are some of the things. Elena, do you have specific questions, or did I confuse something?
No, well, I think, so in this last part that you're talking about, you came up with your own incentive to incentivize them to do it now. And basically you took the bonus that Shaklee was going to give you and you gave it back to them.
Right. Yes.
And I think sometimes we forget that we can create incentives.
Mm-hmm.
That we are our own CEO, that we can actually make those decisions, and it's a win-win. It's a win for you, and it's a win for them. So
right, exactly.
Wow. Well, I love how you did that. And the letter sounds really intriguing. So the letter is something twice a month that you do, or no, not twice a month.
Twice a year. Twice a year. Yes.
Twice a year. And do you have a kind of a standard letter that you use, and you change it just each 6 months?
I mean, it's, I've just done it twice. So just the greeting, just kind of saying something relative to part of the, like, I think my greeting this time is something about wishing them happy holidays and how thankful we are. So then it was kind of bullet points, like, and I did say, promised I would keep you in the loop about what's been going on in our Shaklee world. And so I highlighted a couple of the new products. I highlighted the rank advancements we had this year. We earned a bonus car. I told them about that. I told them about one of our directors being in qualification for the San Francisco trip, and how we were in qualification for the cruise, and how 2 of our team members got jewelry from Shaklee this year, and how one was able to pay financially when her other job suddenly ended, like that day it ended, and she, her family relied on her income, and how she was able to earn that income back through her Shaklee business. I told them about a team is having, about how much fun we had in Las Vegas, and just kind of chit chat stuff, just kind of, and they're all little bullet points, just a couple sentences each. And then the wrap up is we are so thankful for our business and all of the friends that we get to help and work with. And the only thing that would make this better was if you were a more active part of our team. And would you like to set up a time talk? So yeah, that's all
the
it
people
says.
Like to hear stories. They love hearing examples of success, and that's what you're giving them, because then they can paint themselves into that picture and say, "Ooh, maybe, what if?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's really smart, Francine. So, what would you do then if you had a deadline to get some more distributors or members on your team because of an incentive that Shaklee is offering? What would be something that'd be going through your head to do, and how would you frame that?
Sure, I would first go and look at my customers who were most active and people who had been referring others, and have a conversation with them, see if I can get them on the phone. Maybe they go out for a cup of tea just to talk about what's going on in their life, see if they have any needs, see if they realize that they have all these people under them already who they've referred. And did you know that, if you were a distributor, did you know that, your check, you could have a check this month of blah, blah, blah. So I would seek out those people first. I would definitely, and now this isn't something you could do immediately, but if somebody isn't already doing this, I would be sure they were posting regularly about how Shaklee was positively impacting their life. And doing that, not so that it was an infomercial, but, kind of weaving that in to just regular social media posts that they were doing, just so people can see that lifestyle, like, that grocery shopping in the middle of the day where everybody else is out with their, Christmas shopping or whatever. I think that's really important. I think people really pay attention to that. As far as a deadline too, I would come up with some type of incentive, and even there's something psychological about having a limited incentive. So was that you were giving money back, or and if you were trying to meet a goal, maybe even giving that full $50 back for each new qualified distributor you get would be worthwhile if you were going for something bigger, that was going to pay you back, and letting them know there's limited spaces available. Because that's that whole fear of missing out thing. And if there's limited spaces, it makes people want to react faster.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And then reaching out to people individually, not just put out there, but then calling them and saying, "Hey, Julie, did you see what I just posted? And is that what did you think?" Or, if that's nothing you're interested in, can you think of somebody that might want to know more about that? So doing that, I had another, oh my goodness, I just lost it. And then working with your team too. So if you already have people on your team, I mean, this isn't a standalone business. I mean, so helping your downline create activity and growth and those types of things too. Member appreciation thing. I think when people and they're willing to know more about something else, and when they trust you and see that you have their best interest at heart, then if you do approach them about the business or a referral, asking for a referral or something, they know they can count on you and they can trust you. We started a listening program this year too, and this, I don't know if you have something like that. I know a lot of people do that, like through the Better Health in 31 Days. There's Learn and Earn
Well, let me
programs.
just stop you so that I can piggyback off of what you're saying. So Becky has now invited our team to be a part of your Learn group. And so there's a few people that have already started to listen. But go ahead. So we Team 212, that's our team, who are going to listen to this, have access to that. So go ahead.
Yes. Right. Take advantage of that for sure. And, I think probably following the same format, because in the welcome it says you have a week to complete this program. So creating that, don't miss out, do this now. And there's lots of videos on there about the business and how the business has impacted people's lives. I had actually two of my two newest builders, they were more intrigued because they went through the Learn program. I reached, here's another thing too. A lot of people are doing vendor fairs, or even if you're not participating in a vendor fair this time of year, you might be out at some type of vendor event, shopping, whatever. Talk to people who are with other companies, other multi-level companies, because they understand what network marketing is all about. And I used to be afraid to approach people from other companies. I just assumed they were already happy with what they were doing. But just this last week, I was at a vendor fair, which I don't normally do. I just went because one of my downline wanted to do it, so I was there to support her. And I got there before she did, so I was bringing things on the table. And the girl right next to us is a Norwex distributor. And initially I was like, seriously, I'm, we've got, competing products, and how come they put me right next to, I'm just having this silly talk with myself in my head. Anyway, I had to leave the room to go get more stuff. And so I'm like, okay, Francine, you're going to introduce yourself to her and talk to her just like you would anybody else. So I went back in, better state of mind, introduced myself. Her name is Heather. She's lovely. She had never heard of Shaklee. I told her that we had cleaners as well, but since that's what their whole platform is. That's all they have is cleaners. I told her I wouldn't put our cleaners out since we had 4 other product lines that I can illustrate. And she was like, really? So that was very intriguing to her. And turns out she had a couple little kids who get sick all the time. So we talked about nutrition and what she was doing and how that wasn't working and what would you suggest? And so I told her that. She left with a catalog. We became Facebook friends. She did the Learn program in one day. She did it on Sunday because she wanted to become a preferred member and get the free Vitaly from the 12 days of Christmas. And I've talked to her every day since then. And she doesn't think Norwex is all that it's cracked up to be. And she really feels isolated. Because one of the things I told her was, I'm so glad you're doing this program. You'll get to meet someone I get to work with. And she was like, really? Those people are all on your team? You know them? I'm like, oh yeah. So anyway, that could be, just having people go through the Learn program can really open some doors too, as far as becoming a preferred member or even an interest in the business.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wealth of information. Thank you so much. And, these are ideas that sometimes I share with the team, but hearing it from you is refreshing, So thank you so much. And you just have a very, I think one of the things, Francine, that's really beautiful about you, and I've known you now for several years, is your authenticity. You just come from here, from the heart. And the fact that you didn't put out those cleaning products to honor her probably spoke, like, I don't know what the right expression is, but spoke so highly of who you are and your integrity.
Oh, thank you. That's super important to me. So that means a lot to me coming from you, Ellen. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your time. I know you're really busy, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I know we'll be in touch, and thank you for your Learn program. I absolutely love it. So we're using it, Team 212, and find out more. I posted it on our Facebook group page. So
great.
Thank you so much, Francine. God bless you.
I'll talk to you
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye-bye.